Hey, what's going on? Erik Cortina here. So today I'm about to do something kind of crazy that could potentially be genius or possibly very stupid. But I will not know until I do it. So stick around and let's find out together. All right, roll the intro right there. So this is what I'm dealing with right now. I have all my tools set up right here. So for example, this empty block right here holds 8 tools. It can hold 4 on this side and then 4 on the other side. And here I have a hone that after the brake is machined on the inside, this hone actually goes in there and knocks off all the burrs or whatever. I have a drill here. I have a boring bar. On the back side I have another hone for the other side of the brake. And then I also have a boring bar. Okay? The thing that is kind of a pain is coolant. Getting all the coolant wherever I need it. You can see I have coolant lines here kind of shooting this way because when the boring bar goes inside the hole, I need to get coolant in there so I can flush the chips out. And you can see what happens when it loads up with chips. I'm surprised it didn't break, but it was very close. The chips pack up in here, and of course there's no room, and it literally ate away at the carbide. So that's how bad it's in there. That's how bad it is. So coolant management or getting coolant in there is kind of high priority. You can see here I have a drill and I'm also shooting coolant in there. This hone right here, I have this coolant nozzle right here. It kind of shoots right here, but once it goes inside the hole, I can't get coolant to it anymore. So again, coolant is kind of something that must be managed. You can see here I have some lines. These are actually from QPM. They're called lollipops. Okay, so because the holder only comes with these short nozzles, so I have these long tubes now that I can shape any way I want. So like this one is shooting right at the so the way I did this one shoots right at the boring bar, but then it glances off and it hits this, so that whenever I'm doing this one, then I have coolant to it as well. And then this one here, it's shooting at an angle because it gets packed up with chips sometimes. So I need to be able to, whenever it pulls out, this shoots the chips off the boring bar. And also when the boring bar is going in the hole, it kind of glances off and it shoots inside the hole. Alright, so let me show you what it looks like right now when it shoots coolant through it. So as you can see, this one right here, that boring bar, it's kind of just shooting coolant right at it. The drill, it's kind of shooting at an angle, whatever. And that brush, it shoots right in front of the brush to get some inside the hole whenever, before the hone goes in the hole. Over here, like I said, I have those 2 nozzles shooting right at that boring bar, and then it kind of just drips onto the hone down there. But as you can see, it's not very efficient and I have to move it every time. Over here, you can see this is my threading bar, and I actually have 3 nozzles shooting at it. One here, one here, one here, for the same reason. I'm trying to get the chips from building up, because what happens, sometimes the stringy chips would wrap around, and if I don't get them off, next time it tries to thread, those chips come around and they break the insert. So that's why I have 3 on this one. And you can see all my tools have some kind of coolant nozzle going to them, because it's super important. And every time I change the tool, I have to change the coolant nozzles, right? Now I have this one over here. These are my drills, and this one has through coolant. What that means is the coolant actually comes through inside the tool and it shoots outside over here. It shoots the coolant through here. So there is no lines, no anything, because it's through coolant, right? And I thought, man, if this thing was through coolant, it would be so much easier, because then I can simply get a through coolant boring bar, which I already have, but it would do me no good having it here. Same thing with drills. You can get drills that are through coolant, or you can actually get collets that on the face, like this collet right here, it would shoot coolant right through right next to the boring bar, right? So then I wouldn't have to worry about lines at all. These are the coolant ports right here, okay? And these are obviously the holders, or where it holds the tools. It has 4 holes, and these holes go all the way through, and so do the coolant ports, okay? It gets the coolant from the machine, okay? Which tells me, and you can see there's a port right there, which tells me the coolant has to come through the center, right? Comes through the center, and then here it gets distributed. Well, it comes through the center to these ports. What if I was to drill a hole from here right into the center of the tool, like this, all the way through? So that would mean I would catch these ports, this one and this one, and then I would drill into this last one down here. Well, here, picture it the other way, like this. Drill right into here, okay? Of course, I do it right in the middle, right here, all the way through, and then when I'm done, I would thread it and cap it right here, okay? And then I would cap all these. See, this one's capped, so it's super simple just to cap them all, right? And then the coolant would come in here, and because these are capped, these would be capped. The coolant would actually go into these ports now, all these right here. And then I can have coolant through tools, and then I wouldn't have to worry about all these coolant lines. Now I still would have the option to run them if I want to. For example, this hone right here, obviously I could actually get a collet that could shoot coolant through them. See, these holders right here, coolant will go right through them. Through coolant, tools are way more efficient at delivering coolant because they deliver coolant exactly where they need it, okay? And the time to set up, that is a drastic amount of time. Of course, I'm not very good at it, okay? Let's be honest, I'm not very good at it. But even already I figure out that the setup time from going from one part, for example, I'm setting up this part, and if I want to set up a different part that doesn't require these tools, maybe requires different tools, I have a part where this threading bar actually sets up here, because I have another drill over here and another drill over there. So it's again, I have to move stuff around, and every time I move stuff around, I have to worry about the coolant lines. And see, like here, or they get bumped or whatever. See, this is actually a through coolant boring bar. You see that hole right there? Or not a boring bar, but a threading bar. That hole is for coolant to come through, but this is not a coolant holder. I'm gonna take this over to the milling machine and try to drill through it and see what happens. This is a very expensive holder. So you may be screaming at your TV right now going, don't do it, but I gotta try. All right, so I got the bolts out, and typically you have to drive these jacking bolts in, and what it does, it pushes that tool out. I'm gonna try to just tap on here with a hammer. I mean, it's pretty long that I think it has enough leverage that I can just wiggle it out. But anyway, let's see how we can get it off of there. Again, the bolts are all out, so this thing could potentially just fall at any time. So it's actually not a very good idea what I'm doing right now. Oh yeah, there it went. I have to be careful not to push stuff in there while I'm doing this. All right, that's it. Just in case I decide to blow something with the air, which is actually not advisable, but just in case I do something stupid, I don't want stuff blowing in there, so just protect it. I have the protective plates that go on there, but I don't think I need to do that right now. Of course, the E button has been activated before I even started working on the machine. Let's go drill on this thing. I'm a little nervous. Let's go find out what happens. All right, so I have it set up in the mill now. Now, remember, It's only stupid unless it works. So, this is the setup. I have some V-blocks down here to make sure that it is at 90 degrees, or actually setting up at 45 degrees, right? Because I need this to be flat on top, okay? I have some clamps here holding this down. And I have this over here, under here. So when I push down on it, it's, because you know, the pressure is gonna be going straight down. Plus this is trying to tilt it this way, right? And so I stuck a fork in here. Goes all the way through. I clamped it back here with the vise. And now I put pressure down on here, and that's pushing down against this. Actually, not quite. Let me do a little more. These are probably too tight. Here we go. Okay. There it is, nice and, it's snug, it's not super tight. I don't want to get this super tight. I mean, I'm only going to drill a hole, right? So that is the setup. In case you haven't figured this out, I am not a trained machinist. I'm just a guy that gets stuff done. Or tries to anyway. If A-Bomb 79 or any of those real machinists are watching this, I'm sorry guys. I'm just trying to get it done. All right, so there's the setup. I got a drill chucked in the in an ER32 collet. I'm gonna do a 3/16 24. So this is a 277 drill. Let's see what happens. So far, so good. Okay. Cutting very easy so far. Uh-oh. Oh, did it break? Did it break? No, it did not break. Oh, well, it's probably gonna break now. We just broke into the coolant port. That's what happened. Okay. So we just made it to the coolant port. I'm in the coolant port right now. That means these two holders will now be coolant through. Now the problem is, do I keep drilling? I guess at this point I kind of have to, right? Well, I don't have to, but that's the plan. Yeah, if I keep drilling, I'll be in there. All right, gotta keep going now. Hope I don't break the drill. That would not be a good thing. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. as far as I can go. Okay. Now I have to extend the drill. And then just choke it very little so that I have enough length. I'm telling you, if a real machinist is, god dang it. That's what I was trying to say, that if a real machinist is watching this and I turn it the wrong way. All right. Keep going. Okay. It just broke through. Yep. I see it. Okay. So I drilled all the way through and I felt it break through a couple of ports, which I think are the coolant ports. That's the only, yeah, because the coolant port goes from here to here. So I went right through the coolant port all the way through, and it's at the very last port I can see the tip of the drill. That means we drilled all the way through, which means that now we will have coolant here and on that other one. So now I'm gonna pull the drill out and I'm gonna tap this hole so that I can put a plug right there, so that now, you know, so the coolant will not come out through here. It'll just go out through here, or if these are plugged, then it'll go out through where it's supposed to. The hole is drilled and now I'm going to tap it. I'm gonna slow down the mill, put it on slow speed, and I'm actually going to power tap it, which is sometimes not a good idea. All right, that actually worked out pretty good. That should be good. A little more. Take it off. All right, that should be good enough. Now all I have to do is put a plug in here and we're done. All right, let me flip it around and do it all over again. Alright, so I'm at the machine. I have the tool holder installed, but I do not have any plugs, any bolts, 5/16 24. So I'm gonna make a couple of bolts right quick. I'm just gonna make them out of aluminum because all I need is for them to plug the coolant. I'm gonna make that and put it on there, and then we'll give this thing a try. so there you have it. That was actually actual speed. I did not speed up the footage. Oh, there it went. All right, let me bring the tool holder around, make sure it fits. All right, so here's the tool holder. Here's the bolt that we just made. And it fits. All right, so there it is installed. Let me show you what it looked like before I did the modification. You can see coolant was going everywhere. Now that the modification is done, let's see what it looks like. You can see coolant is actually coming out around the tools. Now it kind of still looks pretty bad because I don't have the correct collets. For example, right there, that one right there, that is not a sealed collet, so you know, coolant's just coming right through. And on that boring bar, the one on the bottom, that is actually a coolant through bar, but I don't have a the collar around it is not sealed either. But so now all I have to do is get some sealed collars and collets, and I'm gonna be able to have pretty much what I've been looking for. Man, this is good. I'm excited. Like I said at the beginning when I started this project, it can be either very stupid or very smart, and I don't know that it's smart, but at least it worked. All right, thank you for joining me. We'll see you guys next time. Keep them centered.
Tonight I'm feeling mean, gonna make an ugly scene. Tonight I'm feeling mean, I'm